You know, I have people lining up wanting to work with me, Mr. Silwick, and I'm working with you, so...
Hello YouTube, my name is Ian, and welcome back to Homestuck Epilogues. Here we are on episode 12, page 40 on Candy, and and still on epilogue 8, I think. Yeah.
Ian's a baby bitch boy.
I'm here with...
Ian's
Hey!
a baby bitch boy.
What proof do you have of that?
You were literally just crying.
I was not crying. I have you know I've never cried in my life.
If you edited that out, I'm gonna be pissed.
What do you mean edited it out? That was, literally, I just started the video. I did not edit anything out since I started the video.
You are such a bitch.
I did not edit anything out since I started this video.
I fucking hate you.
I don't see why.
Because you're being like this.
Being like what?
You literally were just crying into the microphone, and then you're just like, hello, YouTube, and I'm like, oh, you fucking bitch.
Hey, that's offensive. Jay's calling my music crying into the microphone. I was showing him a song I worked on.
No, you are not gonna pull this shit on me, you dick.
Jesus, Jay. Now, at first I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? But now you're calling my song me crying into the microphone. Jesus, how insensitive. I worked hard on that.
I gotta get out of here, man. I can't do this anymore. I'm not being an asshole, man. It's literally what you were doing. I'm not being a character right now, legit.
Oh my
God. He was crying. Stop gaslighting me, you bitch.
Let's wipe away the saliva from this microphone real quick. There we go. That's better. Anyways, last time we did one page, and I don't think that was our fault. That was only one page. Because it was a very long fucking page, and it was Dave and Obama. And Jade.
Of course, Obama is my least favorite character.
So that's fun. But this time it looks like we're doing Aradia and Alt Callie, which is exciting.
Whack.
And are you ready for this?
No.
Great. From atop the tallest bell tower in the Carapace Kingdom, the sky looks like something painted by a crazy person. The fierce lights of war on the horizon stain the sunset in unnatural hues. Oh, also, I probably should mention that Dave became a robot last time.
Mm-hmm.
Ultraviolet pigments of red and purple slash through the atmosphere in harsh, jagged strokes. The cracks in the sky above are a diseased shade of green, bright bolts receding like lightning in a storm. Dead Jade, host to the chair of spirit, floats at the apex of the tower. The blitzkrieg above makes a kaleidoscope of color between the black stripes on her tights. Aradia glides up to meet her, having left Solix on the balcony. Above, in the sky, a hole is opened up, one so big it fills the entire radius of her vision. Oh, that's very dramatic. The dead cherub says nothing. Aradia flits in front of her face and looks into her eyes. They're the same black as the vortex above, so absolutely dark that they reflect no light. I think I understand what's going on now.
Do you?
I mean, I think I understand what I was seeing when I watched as everything broke apart and got swallowed up by the black hole, which is where I ended up too. The black hole. That's basically you, right?
Yes.
And when you speak of your brother, that's Lord English.
Yes.
And he's dead.
Not just yet.
Oh, shit. I just realized.
What?
Alt Callie was the first one to come here, right?
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't... Fuck me. I get it. I understand everything.
I don't want to fuck you, Ian. That'd be a really uncomfortable conversation.
So, oh god, I understand everything. Okay, so, Alt Callie, I don't know why it's Jade's body. That's the one thing I don't understand. But,
probably because
Alt Callie,
her
we
body
saw,
got destroyed.
We saw Alt Callie, dying, by summoning a black hole, and, she, kind of made the black hole around herself.
Yeah.
But then, instead of dying, she came here.
Interesting.
She came here way before anyone else did because this was before that fight started. That was what we saw when Callie, quote-unquote, died by creating the black hole as she came here instead. And then after that, just a little bit ways after that, her creating that black hole, which was actually a portal here, anybody who fell into that black hole came here.
Whack.
Anybody and everybody.
Hmm.
Meaning that eventually, if Lord English falls in, he'll come here. Also meaning, because the black hole is slowly sucking up everything in paradox space.
Yeah. Interesting.
I could be totally off point, but this makes so much sense to me.
Only slightly for me. It does and doesn't.
Then where is he? Why doesn't it?
I don't know. I think I'll figure it out more the more that we read.
God, Jay is so boring when it comes to theories. He won't make theories. I mean, he makes theories occasionally, but...
It depends. Sometimes they come in waves. Because I made one at the very beginning of this.
Well, your theory... the people dropping out of the sky, from meat, was your theory.
Yeah. Which, kind of?
Which is true.
Yeah.
100% true.
Mm-hmm. But it was very obvious, of course.
I see. Going to keep us in cryptic suspense as usual, are we? That's fine.
Yes, it is.
I did think it was odd that we ended up in this timeline after all was said and done. Such a strange and unremarkable place to be after witnessing such awesome calamity. There's something... Aradia pinches her thumb and forefinger together. Off about this place, just a little bit.
Yes, you would think so. Lesser beings have so much trouble perceiving divinity in the uncanny.
Oh, quickly, I'll pop back here, because what I was talking about was I think I understand what I was seeing when I watched as everything broke apart. That was what we saw Aradia when she looked at the black hole, right?
Yeah.
And got swallowed by the black hole, which is where I ended up too, that black hole. That's basically you, right? Saying the black hole is Callie.
Wait.
That's where I was talking about.
But how?
Because Callie created the black hole. We saw that in Act 7.
So technically it is? Whack.
And
I don't
so
like
she is
that.
the portal. She is the portal to Candy from Meat.
I don't like that.
Or from the battle. Not necessarily Meat, we don't know that yet.
I don't like that.
Anyways. Lesser?
You have proven yourself a valuable servant and pleasant company, but yes, you are lesser.
Haha, okay, well, it could always be worse, I suppose. You said that we are the lucky ones, if I recall correctly.
All in this place are luckier than those who are not, in a certain way.
But what way is that? The people on this planet seem so... Well, I don't want to be mean, but is that the paradox of living in a utopia when everything is perfect and your every need is met? Is it natural for people to start crossing blades at imaginary enemies?
I doubt that's what troubles you about this world.
Oh?
Well, you discovered what you've described is a state of empirical ennui, resulting from the material circumstances here, but the material circumstances of this world have no objective existential value. This world... Where was I? Sorry. Unlike the canonical horrors from which it is hermetically insulated, will always fail to meet the combined criteria for truth, relevance, and essentiality that would endow this realm with any real gravity. Its own naturally occurring supply of gravity, rather than the artificial supply I've given it. As such, what transpires here is characterized by experiential frivolity. Physically, it is cordoned off by the black hole's event horizon. It is safe, untouchable, and escapable.
That sounds ominous.
It cannot be ominous because it cannot be truly anything with a tangible significance. One could describe it as a phantasmal projection confined within my horizon. It was created by a choice that made it possible for that horizon to expand infinitely, to consume infinitely. And since that choice cannot coexist with canon events, this place manifested here to support its consequences. If this world were capable of anything either essential, relevant, or true in some stable combination, then it would perpetuate a corrosive paradox. As such, insulation from what is out there, and the inescapable well it rests in, is what protects all it holds inside. And since I am the embodiment of the black hole in which it rests, I am the one protecting this world.
Why? If it's so irrelevant, what's the point?
It is simply my duty to defend the innocent from destruction, degradation, and dissolution. But there is more to consider than just my nature. As it happens, this projection within me serves as a stable conceptual foothold from which I can sense and resist another growing threat, which is determined to jeopardize the canonical plane of reality.
Oh, shit. Okay. So, here's what I'm thinking. Alt Callie's existence here is why this timeline exists. And anything other than just, like, fandom, you know?
Yeah.
Right? Is it like, if this was just strictly not canon, then it wouldn't exist.
True.
But it's outside of canon because it's not the canonical timeline, but exists to serve a purpose in the canonical timeline.
Yeah.
It's like Doom timelines, right? I would consider Doom timelines outside of canon rather than not canon. At least the ones that relate, right? Like the Doom timeline that Dave's sprite was originally from.
Yeah.
Right? That timeline was outside of canon because Dave, from that timeline, needed that timeline to happen in order to come back and be Dave's sprite.
True.
Right? It's like, well, this timeline is not canon. It's outside of canon because it exists to serve a purpose for the prime timeline, the canon timeline.
Yeah.
And Callie is protecting this timeline. Callie created the black hole and is using this timeline for her purposes, which is protecting it, keeping it from becoming not canon.
True.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying it, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Where are we?
I think I'm saying, oh yes, the prince, right?
Yeah.
Yes, the prince. I still have no idea who he is. Not that I doubt you really. We had a prince who was a huge jerk who destroyed everything he touched.
Aridin.
Yeah.
Aridin. The prince I am referring to electively removed himself from this reality in order to strategically consolidate his power.
Jay!
What?
So I'm just right. It is Dirk.
Yeah.
You have much less of a reaction to that.
Yeah!
Yeah! Because earlier I was talking about, like, we don't know very many princes, and you're like, I don't know, I guess we'll just have to read and see.
And now
like,
we have a Dirk.
He killed himself in this timeline.
Yeah.
So yeah, right there.
We have a Dirk.
Electively removed himself from this reality in order to strategically
be
consolidate
Dirk.
his power. It is Dirk.
Are we sure?
Electively removed himself from this reality.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they killed themselves. They could just be really good at jumping timelines and shit.
The prince I'm referring to electively removed himself from this reality to strategically consolidate his power. Look, there's no way they'd hype somebody up like this, say something like that, and then it not be someone that we don't know already.
He cannot threaten this world, and yet by sequestering himself elsewhere has become infinitely more dangerous.
What makes him so dangerous? I mean, what exactly is it he can do, which is more destructive than what I was seeing just before I came here? The cherub makes a rare physical gesture with her hands to begin framing her next statements. Aradia notes this and strives to listen more closely.
Physical destruction is one thing. Obliteration of the entire canvas for all of reality over a given cosmic span is another. Yet there's even more insidious forms of destruction and subversion of life to consider. Methods that are difficult to grasp for those on your plane. I'm not sure how... Does Dirk really have this much power?
I mean, I think he would definitely have the power to. The motive is what's like keeping me from 100% buying it. But I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm trying. It would. I mean, having somebody that can't touch his reality but is a threat to everything would also serve as a motive for Jade. Or not Jade. I guess for Alt Callie to create this reality with the black hole as like almost a sanctuary for people. You know, if the prince can't get here.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm quite inferior, I know, but I'm also very curious. Can you try me?
Of course, let's begin by examining the nature of a story.
Okay.
It'll be easier to do this if we have a couple example of a story to discuss. Some stories are impossibly long, but others can be quite short. Some even can be a few words. What's your favorite story?
My favorite, I don't know how to answer that, really.
Don't you like stories?
Of course I do, but do you mean like a book or a movie?
Anything.
Um,
Pick literally any example you can think of.
okay. There's a famous religious story from my planet about someone called the Signless, who I guess turned out to be my friend's ancestor, which is weird, but that's beside the point.
Who is the signless again?
Cancri. But adult Cancri.
But like the sufferer.
So yeah, the Signless became the Sufferer, was
The
the thing.
sufferer.
The Sufferer was when he, like, became
Troll
Jesus.
Gigas.
Yeah, the Sufferer is when he became Troll Gigas, because he was,
Because he was
tied to
suffering.
whatever thing and sacrificed.
And he was wearing those handcuffs.
Yep, the handcuffs with the sign of the Signless.
69.
By the way, the oxymoron of the sign of the Signless is the best thing in the world.
Yeah, a little bit.
I love it.
The word oxymoron is a weird word, but I think it's cool. The opposite, yet, like, using two words that are the opposite in the same way.
Yeah. So, like, the sign of the Signless.
The sign of the signless.
Signless is supposed to have a sign, right? It's signless.
Yeah,
There's a sign of
icy
the
hot. You know, stuff like
Icy.
that.
Jesus Christ.
Icy hot. That is a thing.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I'm thinking of more oxymorons. Quick help. I don't know any more oxymorons.
Cool J.
What?
Cool J.
LL Cool J was a cool rapper from the 90s.
I mean, like, cool and J.
No,
'cause those were
LL
antonyms,
Cool
right?
J. LL Cool J was a cool
Fine.
rapper from the 90s.
Handsome J. Best oxymoron in the world.
Handsome J, I think somebody like that was a cowboy at one point.
Great.
God, you're such a dick.
Act naturally.
Nice iron.
Act naturally, that's actually an oxymoron.
True.
Because if it's natural, you don't need to act.
Yeah, true.
Almost exactly something.
Mm-hmm.
Approximately equal to.
God, shut the fuck up, you fucking math nerd.
Even bittersweet's an oxymoron. It's like
So
bittersweet's-
bittersweet. That's a
a great
Panic at
oxymoron.
the Disco song.
Bittersweet is also just a common word we use.
True.
God. Climb down.
Lying.
Climb down.
Lime down?
Climb down.
Climb
Like climbing a
down.
ladder, but climb down.
Oh, whack.
Right?
I didn't know what you meant. There's
Controlled
more.
chaos.
We could do this all day.
Definitely.
Okay,
where were we?
we were talking about religion
Yes.
and how bullshit it is. No, I'm just kidding. That would be a bad situation. That'd be a bad situation for all those involved.
Yeah, it's not talking about that.
Yeah, I know the tale. Yeah,
Yes,
how would you tell a story if you were trying to be as brief as possible?
Well, a religious martyr attempted to lead a rebellion, but he was killed in a horrible way and shouted a very loud, rude word in the process.
Fuck!
Yeah.
He just screamed "fuck," right? Like that was
Yeah.
his big.
Yes.
That's good. Try making it shorter though.
Okay. A martyr tried to rebel, but he was killed horribly and then shouted a rude word.
Shorter.
Wow. A martyr rebelled, but died and shouted rudely?
Shorter.
Oof. Okay, how's this? A martyr died and said fuck.
Perfect.
A martyr died and said fuck.
That's exactly what happened. It's just how it happened, man.
What is the point of this?
What is the point of anything? Wait, what is the point of this? You know, that's... Oh, fuck. Me saying what is the point of anything, that could turn really dark. To establish an extremely short narrative for certain illustrative purposes, I'm going to repeat your story to you, and I want you to listen carefully. A martyr died and said fuck.
Okay, I listened. That's definitely the story. The short story I just said.
Yes, now I'm going to repeat the story, but change the way I say it very slightly. Listen again carefully. I want to read it in the Obama voice, but I don't have a good Obama voice.
Jay, that's the narrative text.
Nope.
Do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it?
A martyr died and said, fuck.
Yes, that was a little different.
No,
I'm not
wasn't.
sure that I could describe how, though. It was perfectly subtle.
Yes, you noticed because I told you to pay attention for a difference. You noticed because you were alert to the fact that there was even something to notice at all. And if you had not been alert to the fact that something could be different about the nature of the voice telling your story, or to the fact that such differences had a certain significance, you likely would not have noticed.
I see. Yes, I think you're right.
Now imagine that I told your story in exactly the same way that I said. A martyr died and said fuck, but it was the first time you ever heard that story. Also imagine you couldn't see me, and didn't even know I existed. And imagine you couldn't even hear the story I just told with your ears. This simply entered your awareness in some other... This is too meta in a way that was impersonal, almost like one of your own thoughts speaking to you.
Like if you removed Jade from the line. Okay.
Picture this is all you've ever known of the story. The only way it would ever occur to you that the story could be understood by another. Then one day you meet me. You look me up and down and regard me as the discrete, specific individual that I am. And I describe to you I decided to tell you the story again using my own voice. And it sounds exactly like this. A martyr died and said fuck.
Huh.
Does this change the way you perceive the way the story... Does this change the way you perceive the story you were originally familiar with?
I guess a little bit. It's certainly a different way of hearing it, but at least you didn't change any words, so I guess it's not all that different.
Exactly, I didn't change any words, but then it was a very short story I told, wasn't it?
Sure was.
Now imagine it was much longer, and that was only the first line.
That's easy to imagine. His was a long story.
Quite true. Stories so short as the one we've been using cannot accomplish much when it comes to guiding and manipulating one's awareness and emotions. It is compact, ostensibly commanding a simple and meditative moment of reflection, as a short poem might. The narrative it delivers is freighted with inference. It is a pattern imprinted upon the imagination consisting solely of cognitive dark matter, or a sort of notional negative space. When longer stories have the power to draw consciousness into them, they possess arresting and hypnotic qualities which can be used by their tellers to alter the awareness of the listener. Again, I'd like you to imagine this is the only way you've ever known this story, but then it continues. A martyr died and said fuck. His final howl of profanity reverberated through the ages. It inspired his devotees. L.A. Devotee is a good song by Panic at the Disco. During the darkest times of brutal regime. His lessons were guarded, kept secret, espoused in the shadows of tyranny. A vision of peace would inspire those who never conceived it. And though his death was gruesome, it opened the world to a feeling of hope. This hope echoed through the ages. It gave his disciples the strength to persist as they perished in droves. It was the only light to shine on the dark planet for millions of sleeps. And if you are one so devoted to his teachings, who sees truth in his words, it may be said with great authority that you are wrong. You are foolish to believe his lies. His martyrdom is false, his sacrifice hollow. Repent for your adherence to this illusion now, and perhaps leniency will be your reward.
What just happened there?
Brought to your attention, the story you're listening to had a speaker with a specific identity. Where this is an identity, there can also be an agenda. I gain the power to bend your consciousness to become more amenable to my narrative agenda by lulling you into a more receptive state through the established rhythm of the story's telling. It's only possible because you're not initially questioning the identity of the teller. You're even considering that there was an identity to consider.
PSA. This shit is exactly what media bias is, by the way.
This is why I don't watch the news.
This is why watching one source of news, reading one piece of media to get all one news place to get all your information is bad, because yes, they're telling the story, but there is a specific person who is telling the story, and they can easily push their narrative agenda on you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what she's talking about. Is yes, it's the same story, but there's a lot of stuff like whether or not he was right, which is subjective and can't objectively be said in the story.
Yeah.
And the only way to talk about that in this case is to insert somebody who's speaking that way, which is why media bias No matter, like, seriously, all media is biased. Be it right-wing bias, left-wing bias, even far-left bias. Like, there's all media is biased in some way. It's really, really hard to find any kind of source that's not biased. And even then, when you do that, it's usually because people are actively trying to be not biased, and few of those exist, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that kind of, I don't know, like, I don't know if this is supposed to be like speech about that, but in any case, it's interesting. It reminded me of that.
Mm-hmm. You say your guess you're right?
Yeah, about to. I guess you're right.
Hence, we may view any story as speakerless or spoken so as to bring designation to the duality I've just presented. Story may remain speakerless from the beginning until the end, offering a reason for its listener to ever imagine it is the sort of spoken sort. It can also be spoken from the beginning, which is an upfront announcement to the listener that it carries the perspective of an individual. But a spoken story may also disguise itself as one that is speakerless, as mine just did. The speaker may reveal herself well after speakerless conditions have been established, and then one may ask, was it spoken by that individual all along while remaining masked, or has the speaker suddenly intervened to command a heretofore speakerless tale?
I don't... Well, in your case, it certainly did seem like you were the one speaking all along, but using different voices.
Why am I yawning? It's not even 6 o'clock yet.
I know, I was yawning a lot too.
That didn't sound very good. That's true. Not all situations are like the one I just demonstrated, though. For as long as the hypothetical speaker of a speakerless story remains masked, then it is true that the story can be seen as either speakerless or spoken. Both are true, as well as neither. It is best seen as a null factor until there is a departure. Once a hidden speaker becomes unmasked, and retroactively, the story may be considered spoken all along. And so too do we retroactively change how we regard what has already been spoken. God, it reminds me of, like, I think Animal Farm's what that's called? What was that one? Fuck. It was like that one, like, really, really, like it was a story, but it was all about, like, it was secretly about, like, communism.
Ah, yeah.
Fuck, I think it's Animal Farm, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly... I don't know if it's Animal Farm exactly. Who knows? But, yeah, no, that's exactly what I mean. It's that kind of...
Where, like, it's like a story, yeah. And at first it seems like a story, but then, like, their political views come, like, fully in, and you're already too far in to, like, know what the fuck's... Like, know which way is up.
Yeah.
Kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah, it is. Alright, anyways, you got to the end of that red bit?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess with our martyr's story, by revealing yourself as the teller, it turned out you weren't even sympathetic to the very story it seemed you were trying to get me invested in from the beginning. Almost like a mean prank.
Yes, and so there's a very dangerous and destructive quality of these nebulous forces, which I have gone to some lengths to demonstrate for you here. Not everyone who is affected by these forces is fit to fully grasp their insidious qualities, or the sense of urgency that they must be resisted with. This is the sort of corruption I now must dedicate my existence in this new body to ending once and for all.
The cherub falls silent. Aradia takes us to mean this lesson of sorts has ended. She ruminates on it all for a while before speaking again. That's all pretty neat, I guess. So, does this stuff have anything to do with this big hole that just opened up in the sky?
No.
Then, what? What are we doing here, oh great muse? Aradia starts giggling. Above, the sky yawns open a little wider. Aradia waits, but gets no response. Even now, when you're being uncharacteristically forthcoming, you're still impossible to talk to. I understand that, though. I was like that when I was dead, too.
Like what?
Irrepressibly cryptic.
I see.
So, can I at least take a guess?
Yes.
He's coming through there, isn't he? Your brother.
Yes.
Lord English, holy shit. I was right. Are we in danger?
He will certainly be very angry. But he will also be wounded. Even on his best day, he would be no match for what I have become.
Huh. The cherub drifts higher and higher. There's a glint of color at the center of the abyss, a flash like a star going black in the rim of the dying galaxy. Aradia follows behind the cherub, unable to pull her eyes away from the eerie phenomena overhead. What will you do when he comes? The cherub is focused on something very small falling from above. The bright object flutters down from the broken sky and lands in her host's body's outstretched hand. It's a feather, burnt at the edges, flickering orange and green.
Consume his body, absorb his senses, to them using this host, I will generate enough power to move beyond the staggering pull of the event horizon encasing this world. A present of my own making, which can be escaped only through the supreme unification with my other half, is crucial to the cosmos as I succeed. The Prince of Heart has to be stopped.
Confirmation is Dirk!
Yep.
Confirmation!
That's our full confirmation, boys.
Oh!
Oh, shit!
Okay, and it says Candy/41, meaning that it's Candy. It's not like a postscript for both. On the top, like the address bar.
Holy shit, I thought we had more.
Yeah, me too. Great. Well, shall I just read this then, or?
I guess so.
Okay, postscript. Fun. Elsewhere beyond the horizon, a spaceship tears across the starfield at warp speed. Oh. Each dot of distant light stretches to become a spear, hurtling in the opposite direction of the craft faster than any photon ever fired from its surface. The ship was brand new when it departed from Earth's sea. Okay, what's the time skip this time?
I don't know.
What do you mean the spaceship departed from Earth's sea?
I have no idea.
It doesn't look a day older now, even though many hundreds of days have passed. It seems to be built to look somewhat like a shark by a designer who wasn't totally sure of how many fins a shark had, nor where exactly to stick them on the beast's body. Inside, a hot iron smooths the fabric of an elaborate garment, releasing a gentle hiss of steam. At a glance, it looks like the top to a god tier costume, but it clearly isn't standard issue. This one's more stylish, more ornate, more anime. Sometimes one finds there simply isn't another word that will do to describe some sick gear. The iron eases that wrinkles out of the icon emblazoned on his chest. A hot pink heart. Oh.
Oh.
Jay. We're just straight up looking at the prince. This is Dirk from Meat. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is just like where he is now. It's like a dramatic flash to him.
Yeah.
Oh boy. A hot pink heart, bisected vertically below in one half. A shiny, graceful metal hand puts the iron down, removes the garment from the ironing board, and reaches for the pantaloons. Oh, a metal hand? Metal.
Wait, keep going.
She isn't even sure how he gets these things so wrinkly. Perhaps it's all the time he spends training in the hypergravity chamber, assuming they've got one of those on board. Then again, there are times when he seems so high-strung. He could wrinkle a good anime costume, sitting perfectly still in an armchair. She drapes the pantaloons over the board, and pauses to reach for the candy bowl nearby. She doesn't need to actually need to eat anymore. The entire concept of eating has been upended for her. So this is a robot of some kind.
Yeah.
It's not about sustenance, or even necessarily about enjoying certain flavors. It's more about staying connected to a vestigial habit reminding her of the humanity she's been forced to abandon. Okay, one of the human kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not just any candy that would cut it. The sensors on her metal tongue, Jesus Christ, are very particular. Weaker than taste buds and arranged differently. These would taste very particular. I already said that. These would taste like some combination of battery acid and wasabi to the human tongue. Oh. But to her, the flavor is mild, exotic, certainly worthy of snacking on to pass the time. Human teeth wouldn't stand a chance of cracking these, but hers make a short work of turning the candy into a fine gravel. One of her more reckless shipmates chipped a tooth trying one, despite repeated warnings to stay away from all that stuff. Is this Dirk, or are there multiple people on this ship?
I'm not sure.
The iron hits a snag on the pantaloons, putting an awkward crease in the ridiculous billowing fabric. She curses and puts the iron down. She decides laundry day is officially over. The guy can just wear a pair of pants today for all she cares. It's not like he has an audience, despite his best efforts to behave as if he did all the time. She doesn't really enjoy doing laundry or ironing silly anime ensembles, and she considers herself nobody's maid. It's just that there hasn't been much to do on this ship. It's not like the old days of her long-range interstellar travels. The halcyon period of riding a meteor across the abyss for years. I guess it's not necessarily a human kid, it's just a human in general, right? But it's probably a human kid.
Yeah.
With an atmosphere of camaraderie, feelings of optimism, a rewardingly transformative period in everyone's young life. She guesses this is just what things feel like on a long journey when you're older, and with a much smaller crew. She turns off the iron and wanders off down a corridor. It's something like the meteor in here. Bright, futuristic. Okay, so she was on the meteor.
True.
Bright, futuristic. Skynet does build a lovely ship, she has to admit. Oh, Skynet. She turns a corner, and her foot kicks something. It's a stray ruby slipper. The other is about 10 feet away down the hall. No sign of their owner anywhere. She'd sigh, except she doesn't breathe anymore. She doesn't consider herself to be her maid either. Okay, so there's another woman with them.
Mm-hmm.
But she reaches down to pick up the slippers nonetheless.
This person's a maid.
Hmm?
Sorry? This person that, like, from the perspective that we're looking at is a maid.
Well, no, I mean, she's some kind of robot that was a human that doesn't consider herself to be a maid, but is bored, and used to be, like, in general, just, like, a ship person.
Yep.
It's not like it was her maid either, but she reached down to pick up the slippers nonetheless. She enters a room central to the ship, one that she visits now and then, possibly for sentimental reasons, or maybe it's just to creep herself out. Situated near the wall is something that looks like a rather elegantly designed iron lung. It's mostly made of glass, with polished silver trim around the sides and base. There's a digital monitor on the wall. She approaches and places her hand in the glass with a faint metal clink. She used to live in this body. Oh. She's dressed in the same clothes she was wearing the day she slipped into the coma. A special tiara replaces her typical hairband, lined with blinking transmitters. The device beams her awareness directly into her current mechanical avatar. She presumes it utilizes the same technology that Jade's grandfather once used to build the Dreambot for her, so this is not Jade. But knows of this. Which function... So is this... Wait. The function similarly. She knows she'll never be able to inhabit the sleeping body again. She honestly can't decide whether it makes her feel sad or relieved. She ponders the future of her old body. Will it all work as planned? She has to believe it will. It is the only path to achieve permanence for these tenuous bodily accommodations. A jarring sound snaps her out of her reverie. It's an alert, beeping urgently from the cockpit. The robot leaves her entombed living body and runs quickly through the winding corridors. She sits down at the helm and examines a monitor. A new planet's within sensor range. She studies the millions of statistics all pouring in at once. Her pupilless eyes take them in all simultaneously, her head needing only to move a quarter inch from side to side to pan her vision across the data. It's an M-class planet. The right size, right age, right distance from the sun. There's no advanced life yet. It's exactly what they've been looking for all these years. Her heart doesn't beat any faster because its pace is regulated by an internal chip. She consciously accelerates it anyway. It's been a long time since she's had the occasion to feel exhilarated. She's missed the sensation of the old flesh ticker acting of its own accord. The thoughts of her powerful brain race. What will they name the planet? How long will it take for the ship to arrive? Once the new race is established and advanced enough civilization thousands of years from now, who will be the lucky kids be? Who will the ones who will get the chance to play what will arguably be the most important session in the history of Spurb? Holy shit, page turn. She holds her thoughts. They can't wait. There's so much to discuss. She taps a button and lowers her head a little closer to the mic on the panel.
Rosebot.
Yeah. Dirk. She supplies a courtesy of pause, as if waiting for him to reply. He usually doesn't. You're going to want to come see this. Enough time goes by that she begins to wonder if he's asleep. But no, it's just the irritated silence of a man who knows he isn't currently dressed well enough to attend something important.
My fucking pantaloon's done yet.
Fuck! It's okay, so Rosebud, yeah, no, I had the idea, I was like, maybe it's Rose, because they were talking about it like a headband, right?
Yep.
But, oh god.
Fuck.
Also, oh shit. Jay.
What?
This is Rose from Meat, because Rose was really sick until John picked Candy.
True.
Like, really sick.
Or do you think Meat, she dies? Or do you think she goes into a coma?
She never died. See, she went into a coma and will never wake up again, and said her consciousness is being put into this robot.
Whack.
Not the robot, the Rosebud.
Okay. Okay.
Fuck!
Fuck.
Well, that's that!
Fuck, fuckity, fuck.
This was the shortest video we've done in general, I think.
In this series it is, yeah.
Well, in the series, yeah. But you want to talk about this for a second?
Candy.
That was candy?
I like candy.
Me too. I want to know what... Okay, so here's the thing, right?
I probably
This
won't appreciate
clearly-
it enough until I read Meat, though.
Exactly, that's how I feel. But the thing is right, so these are technically supposed to be read in any order, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning this is not necessarily a teaser for Meat, right? It could be. Do you think this takes place before Meat? No, it has to take place after Meat, right? Or at least later in Meat.
I think they're both happening simultaneously.
That's what I'm thinking. Meaning
That's the
that
entire point.
I think the end of Meat might be a page like this for Candy.
Yeah.
So will the end of Meat have a resolution for Candy? Or is that just like... Because definitely time has passed before this page happens in Meat, you know?
True.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, this is whack.
I'm curious for the postscript of Meat then, because it's got to be related to Candy or something, right?
Possibly.
Because they're supposed to be read in any order.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's true. But everybody reads Meat first, and apparently Meat has a lot more, like, cosmically that makes sense.
Yeah, well, Meat is the canon timeline. This is the outside of canon timeline.
True. Anyhow.
So, that was 304 pages physically, by the way. All of that.
Probably going to be about the same for Meat.
Yep, it's about halfway through the book. Actually, if I actually look at the line, the middle page right here, it looks like Candy was slightly longer than Meat.
Really?
Just like slightly.
Whack. I don't like that.
I can send a picture with the bookmark in there. It just looks slightly longer.
I don't like that, like, it ends and there's no more to click through.
Me too. We're supposed to hit the start over buttons, like the, you know.
Yeah, so we can go back to Meat.
But, yeah.
Anyhow.
So that was Candy, everybody. What the fuck, Jay?
I don't know.
So, okay, so that ended, like, the actual bit, like, last chapter, episode, like, number 40, ended with the Prince of Heart has to be stopped. And also the fact that Lord English is coming. Yeah. So they're in the middle of this war, whatever, like, the thing that would, like, in present Candy, without any time skip, what happened right after that is Lord English fucking came.
True. Most likely.
And Alt Callie is like, oh yeah, he'll be no match for me. What I have to worry about is us killing Dirk.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck, man?
Only
and that's
slightly
this
terrifying.
Dirk. They're talking about this Dirk. The Are My Fucking Pantaloons Ready Yet Dirk.
Yep.
What is happening?
Don't ask. I find it better to live in ignorance.
All right, well, I'll talk about this real quick because I want to, and I'll probably bring it up again at the beginning of the next episode. But with Meat, at least the way I'm going to try to do it is I'm going to try to approach it from a couple different standpoints. First and foremost, approach it just the way I would, being a person who read Candy and is experiencing Meat for the first time. But I'm also going to try to think about how it would be if I was reading Meat first and retroactively look at Candy. You know what I mean? Or, like, reading Meat first, how that would mean. And then also think about how, like, trying to put Candy into more context because of Meat. Like, I'm going to try to do all three at once,
Yep.
Because I want to focus as much of my energy on, like, making it make sense in any scenario because I want to, like, visualize what it would have been like to read Meat first and, like, and all that. God, I want to pad this out a little bit, but I can't really think how to do that, so...
What do you mean pad this out?
Like, make it a little longer of a video instead of just, like, stop here.
Well, there's nothing really we can do, my friend.
Yeah, that's the thing.
At least we didn't do any tangents to the beginning of the video, I don't think.
No, not at all.
I think we just went straight into it, so...
Yeah, basically.
It'll be about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe a minute less. So you guys want to hear about my day?
Yeah, sure.
No, I didn't think
How was
so.
your day, Jay? No, how was your day?
It was pretty chill. I got up. I was late to get to school. Then I got to the school. Then I drove and I put on my Discover Weekly, which was really good this week.
Nice.
There was a bunch of road work outside my school, which kind of whack. I get to the school. I walk into my English class because I had to do my English final exam. The teacher made it so it's not like a huge final exam, and he's just like, you'll get your grade instantly as soon as you're done. Then I did the test, and you know what grade I got, Ian? 100.
Woo!
Because I am a genius, and I got a 100 on my final exam. Anyhow,
Congratulations.
I am so cool and awesome, and you wish you were me. Then I left, and I came up here. Well, while I was driving home, I texted Ian and I said, "Hey, you want to go ahead and record earlier?"
And I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
And he said yes. And then
we spent 7 hours.
No, we spent a couple hours on the. No, we spent about an hour on the first video. Then we both left, and I went up
For like an hour.
Then I went up to the restaurant I work at, and I got a food, and then I came back, and then we recorded more. We also watched Cave Town in between videos.
We did. That was fun.
We love Cave Town.
Cave Town's great.
If you don't like Cave Town, then fuck you.
And now we're getting to the point where we're an hour away from the time we usually record.
It's kind of nice. I wish we could do this every day.
Yeah.
When we get rich and famous, we'll be able to do this every day.
Yeah, we'll be able to only work like 3 days a week.
It'll be pretty pog, right?
Imagine, right? Or like, we can record, actually record 2 days a week, and then we can just stream the rest of the time as we want. And then no editing or anything afterwards. We can stop if we need to.
Yeah, we have editors to do that for us then.
Right? God, that'll be fun.
Josh keeps telling me to record stuff, and then he wants to edit it, and I'm like, why?
God, you should record a J-Train video and send it to Josh and be like, hey, edit this.
Yeah. This sounds like a hilarious idea. That sounds like a great idea. I'm gonna say so many slurs.
Well, what would you? Hey, I wouldn't send Josh clips of you saying slurs.
Oh no, then he'd post them. Yeah, actually, Josh would probably be weirdly into it. He'd be like, "Yo, this is funny," and I'm like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, you would.
He'd be like, "Yo."
Fucking unironically listens to Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, imagine listening to Ben Shapiro unironically.
Jesus Christ.
Couldn't be us. Anyhow.
Ben Shapiro's the funniest guy in the world.
On an ironic sense, yes.
Yeah, his bit on John Lennon's Imagine, you can't write better satire.
To be honest, nobody takes him seriously when he's talking about Imagine.
It's impossible to write better satire. That shit is just perfect satire. And it's not even satire. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And it was quite a beautiful video. I enjoyed this. Yeah, great. Okay.
Poggers.
Yeah, anyways, that was Homestuck Candy. Homestuck Epilogues Candy. And that was interesting. Holy shit, man. Next time we're going to do meat. That's going to be interesting. What the fuck? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I really appreciate it. Subscribe so you don't miss the coming in the future. Also, make sure to join our Discord because it's quite a lovely place to hang out, and there's some lovely people there as well. It's kind of just a great place to be.
You sound like you're doing the fast part of Rap God whenever you do the outro.
I'm beginning to feel like a rap god.
No, you sound like you're doing the some love I do below when I got a video to be in it. Like that's what you sound like.
I see. God. Where was I? Oh yeah. Follow us on Twitter because Jade's been tweeting on Twitter. It's quite a cool place to view Twitter's tweets. And make sure to follow us on TikTok as well because I'm posting on there and it's quite a lovely place to be. There's some really cool characters and in lore and it's gonna be great. I'm so excited. Lovely place to be. One of those beautiful places on the internet.
Alright, folks.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Love y'all. Bye.
Later, idiots.
Ooh.
Bye. So, no, if you say ooh one more fucking time, I will slit your throat and leave you in an alleyway.